beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight has been. Whew. So yes, I hope you all are getting out, and make sure you get plenty of water like Starlight. So don't mind Starlight's hair. It's gonna fall out anyway, because I don't have the right ponytail thing out here. So anyway, I love you all, and thank you to all of you who have been here on my YouTube channel, even before I started YouTube, and the ones that have joined me from the beginning all the way through to now. And thank you for the new subscribers out there. Thank you so much for joining me and subscribing to my YouTube channel, watching videos, leaving me a message, or even sharing. Thank you, all of you. I appreciate all of you, and not a lot of people might agree to this, but we all need each other one way or another. You know, I need you, and you could possibly need Starlight. So we're supposed to be a big family. Talk about big, right? So anyway, I love you so much, and also, if anybody wants to send any love donations to Starlight's Cash App, you can, and I will have that information here on my video through my Cash App. Ping! There it is. And okay, so today is I know I did a yoga video, and I said I was going to do that, so that's not a perfect yoga poses and all that. I just, for any of you that watched that video or even started watching it or whatever, is that I am getting out of my comfort zone. I'm doing things that is uncomfortable, and it's not about being perfect, it's getting out there. It's just doing it. So anyway, hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. Plus, don't forget, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, plus give me a thumbs up, and you can also leave a message down below, beep beep beep, and you can share my videos with your family, your friends. Don't forget to ring the notification bell, and you can check out my playlist. Plus, you can find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So today is I am challenging all of you. Yes, all of you. Okay, we all, one way or another, we have things or people. There's things or people. You know, we're doing things, or you know, we have certain people in our lives. Now this is kind of hard. It's more of things more than people for this topic, for this video. So Starlight, come on, what do you guys push the button. So this is a challenge, okay? I am gonna do this, but I on my own, you know, when I start this. So I am challenging you is to give up something that you know that is not good for you. You know, a challenge of a 7-day challenge to, like, it could be not eating something that you know, your doctor might even tell you that, hey, this is not good for you. So this is a challenge, is to take something that you know that is not good, or, here we go, is to do something that you know is good for you, to start doing something that you know that is good. Things that you kind of, you know, we, in this fast-paced world, and this 3D matrix here, is that it is so easy to get distracted on things that don't matter. So this is a challenge video to challenge all of you. Either there's something that you can let go for 7 days. For 7 days, just start off, say, okay, think of something. I'm giving you a little head start here so you can think of something. You know, you're probably thinking about things in your life right now. You know, you know, like when you eat something, you're like, I know I shouldn't eat this, but, or you might drink something, you know, I know. You know, the ego really will mess with us, you know, on these things. You know, the ego will, like, it's okay, Starlight. I'm like, Eagle, you're not really helping me right now. This is something I'm battling with. I want to let this go. I want to let this go. I'm ready right now. I am ready right now to let this thing go. Or, like I said, is to start something new, something different, like getting out of your comfort zone. So this is a 7-day challenge. Like find something. Maybe you're not getting out of the house enough. Maybe you're not getting exercise like you really need to, because your future self will thank you. And sorry, Starlight's I got my I'll just get my hair like this because the wind. So your future self will thank you on either or. You might be drinking too much coffee and it dehydrates you, So that might be something. Maybe you eat too much sweets. Maybe you might know that you eat too much sweets and you're like, you guys know, come on, you guys know, you're like, I know I should, but, we all have something that, there's something that we can work on, a 7-day, do something, either let go of something for 7 days or start something new for 7 days, is to get your mindset though. But it's really a mindset is to say, it's really to do it now is the best way to do this, is do it now, like right now, like today, I wanted to do something, but I thought of it after I already did, what I was thinking about letting go. So I'm giving myself a 7-day challenge, and really I want to eliminate that in my diet and not do that anymore. Or, you can exercise, do one thing every day, some kind of, exercise, at least do a half hour of something, walking, jogging, it doesn't matter what your age is. So I don't want to hear any excuses. Well, Starlight, I'm too old, and for people that are young, I mean, like, there's always something. Either let go of something for 7 days or start something, that you've been thinking about it. Go for a hike, get outside, do something new, try something new, get out of your comfort zone. Now, right now, it's Wednesday, and so I understand some of you might have to work, and, some of these things might be quite impossible. I get that, because you might have kids at your house, you go to work, and then but, doing things right away, like today, I thought of this thing right after I got done already doing it, and it's affecting my body. And I'm ready to let go of it. It's a mindset. I'm ready to let go of this thing. What is it, Starlight? What is it? So there's other things that I do want to do, but I got to make sure, like I want to do a fast. But that means, I got to build up my body, get a lot of vegetables and fruit in my system, and then, like do like a 3-day fast. They say in the Bible, it's best not, like when you fast, there's people that they will tell people that they're fasting. So you really don't want to tell anybody that you're fasting, but sometimes it's impossible. They're like, here, eat this. No, I'm fasting. You got to kind of, because I went through this. I did my biggest fast without eating any food was a 7-day fast for a spiritual thing long time ago. Guess what? It didn't really work. I didn't even know how to fast. So, and I had a lesson to learn. So, it was, should I go and marry this guy? That's what it was. It was like, should I marry this guy? I wasn't listening to my intuition at all. I didn't even know nothing about my intuition, It just, things happen, And I'll tell you, I won't tell you now what happened, why did it was an illegal marriage anyway, so don't worry about it. Hang on, Starlight's hands are dirty, so I can't really so set your mind to something like let me think of other food. Maybe there's a meat product that you're like, you know what, my doctor says I should not eat this, but I like it. I like the way it tastes. I ate it all my life, like beef. Beef is like the worst. Pork and beef, those are like the worst meat. And that's where I started when I have like those of you that are new to my YouTube channel, is that I have been like a vegetarian. I really want to be a vegan, plant-based diet, just eat things that are healthier. And I just actually helped a person today because we were talking about food, and they asked me, hey, they got lunch in here, Starlight, would you like any? And I'm like, well, I have a vegetarian diet here, and most of the time this doesn't work out, like to go to a soup kitchen, or a church where they have a dinner, they make a dinner. It doesn't really work out for me. They're gonna have all kinds of stuff that I by the time I get, I'll definitely be on a diet, because they won't have anything to eat. Because they're always adding something into something, and it's like, So anyway, I got talking with this older gentleman, and so he's like, I like eating meat, and he couldn't understand, how come, Starlight, how come you're like not eating, you don't eat meat? I get this from people all the time. And if I bring this up, you don't eat meat? Even before I got on this spiritual journey here, this journey here with God, people heard that, when I was in New York, that I don't eat meat. And they're like, well, Starlight, you're gonna starve. I've heard all kinds of stuff. Oh, you gotta have meat. Doctors know we don't have to have meat to make it through. There's people that fasted for a long time, like Jesus fasted. A lot of people fasted, drinking water. And it's really, actually, it's, you gotta, I am not your doctor, so if you got health issues and stuff like that, I am not telling you to go on a 7-day fast, because if you got health conditions and stuff like that, you got, there's people that might not be able to do a 7-day or a 3-day fast. But, talk to your doctor, hey, would it be okay if I did a 3-day fast? And, you can Google it online, how to do like a 3-day no eat food fast. It really would, there's a lot of toxins in your body, all this stuff, depending. Now, some people would have worse toxins in their body from the food that they eat. If you're eating a lot of sweets and beef and meat and salty stuff, a lot of breads and all this stuff, pasta and all these things, depending on what kind of pasta, there's a lot of toxins, and it can really cause a lot of problems. So it is great to actually do like even if you skipped one meal out of the day. I used to actually eat one meal a day. That's it, one meal a day. And I found that 3 o'clock was like the perfect time for me, because I made it all the way from morning. And I have to say, I did have a little snack, and it was a healthy snack. I had peanuts. It was just Starlight ate some peanuts, maybe about 1 o'clock or so, and then at 3 o'clock, around 3 o'clock-ish, is when I had my one meal, and that was it. I was working, I was hiking, I was working on a 5D fort. I felt great. I actually felt better with less in my body. I really did. I actually had more energy, with the one meal. And the other time when I was eating actually more, like 3 meals a day, going from 3 meals a day and just kind of getting down to like 1 meal a day. And Starlight can do this. I can actually go without food if I really choose to do that, like just eat 1 meal a day. But it's in my car, it's a difficult situation because I don't want to throw food away. And so I have to kind of finish off the food that I have, and then I can start doing something. I don't want to throw food away. I don't want to waste. God gave me all this food, and I don't believe in wasting food unless it's not, it's not good for you. It's kind of gone bad. So I am challenging you to either something that it's not good. It could even be a habit that you have that you're like, like maybe you smoke cigarettes, maybe you drink alcohol. There's something that we all can let go of, or start doing something that we've been putting off. What is it that you've been putting off? Is there something that you've been wanting to do, but you always have, what's your excuse? What's your excuse? What is your excuse? Why, you don't go and exercise? What's your excuse? Why you keep on eating food that deep down inside, your body tells you this. Right when you start eating it, there's a guilt trip inside and I know what this is like. I go through this stuff. I'm like, what's your body telling you? Your intuition. It's really not the greatest thing that, because it's not about your body right now, it's about how your body is going to be later on. I've met a lot of people later on in their years. They got some horrible health, bad health problems, like 40s and up. 40s and up, man. Different people at different ages, different types of people. 40 and up, their bodies start doing things, and they end up having, depending on their diet, they end up having different problems with their body, and then they end up going to the doctor, and guess what? A lot of people, like I was one of these people, it costs too much to eat like this or that, and you know what? Health is wealth. I learned that, and I understand it, because God, guess what? The universe, God, will reward you. God will reward you when you discipline yourself and you cut something that it's not good. It could be drinking too much coffee, not having enough water. Maybe you need more water. Maybe cut down on the sugar. Like, how many, donuts do you eat, or cupcakes, or whatever your thing is. Maybe you're eating, too much bread that's not good for you, like white bread. There's something that we all, this video is for everyone, even the little kids, every age, no matter who you are, everybody can get help on this video. Is to either start, you can even do this. Maybe you don't want to let go of all those food. Maybe I don't want to let go of my bagels, Starlight. I don't want to let go of McDonald's food. Well, here's another thing that you can do. And, maybe you're having a hard time letting go of food that is not good for you. And you're, really, if you work on this now, I'll tell you what, I go all over, and I hear this all over, is folks that are, in their 60s and up, I hear them. They're talking about their bodies. They're talking about, they got this problem, that problem, all kinds of different health problems, They're walking, they're having a hard time walking. Their body's in pain, because they didn't do the work when they, whoopsie, sorry about that. They weren't, I'm at a park right now. There's people over there playing basketball. There's people over there doing tennis. There's people over there doing pickle. I don't know what that game is. What else do we got out here? Yeah, so there's people out here, they're out here getting exercise. It is so important to do this now, because I met a lot of people when they get in their 60s and up. It could even be when they're 50, depending on their size and body shape, I watch it all the time. I see people and they're like in pain, their body. You don't want to be turning into the Tin Man by not getting enough exercise. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I felt supercharged yesterday because I jogged and I did yoga, and I was like, woo, I was so fully, I had so much energy. I felt great. I felt, woo, I was on top of the world. I had a hard time. I had to calm down, get ready for the night, because I was supercharged yesterday. Starting my morning off right by meditating, and then, thanks to my mentor, Infinite Waters, Ralph Smart, for inspiring me, to start mornings, by meditating, clear all that negative stuff that we, draw into our bodies and our auras, and, work on that. So you start off full of light, and clear of all this negative energy. So we all have something you could replace instead. If you don't want to let go of those that fast food, those French fries and all that stuff, well then, guess what? Here's another way, is to go to the store, and this is where it happens, is when you go to the store, be mindful of what you're throwing in the cart. If you don't put it in the cart, then when you're in the house, you have no excuse, because that's normally what ends up happening. People, you got to control yourself before, a mindset before you go to the store and say, no, I'm not gonna, I got to cut these things out, I got to stop eating this food because I know it's not good. My doctor tells me it's not good. That way you got a mindset is like, no, I am not putting that in my cart. And your kids, if you really, really, really love your kids, you will help them to eat healthier. Don't you want your kids around for a long time? Don't you, a lot of parents, they want their kids to be there to help them so they can help take care of them, when they age. Well, if, you're not helping your kids right now when they're living with you to eat healthy, well, they might not be able to be there later on to help you out, and depending on what kind of parent are you anyway, you got to be a good parent for them to be there, to be there and take care of you, because not, there's some parents, they don't really deserve that kind of good care from their kids, but that's all up to you. There's people that, they might have not have been there for their kids at all, and the parents are like, hey, you weren't there for me when I was a kid. You weren't even there. Where were you? And you want me to take care of you when you're aging, So you got to think about this, if you want your family to be there, we got to take good care of them and teach them the right way and be that example to, like how to eat. What are the good choices to eat? And it's on, ask your doctor, hey, is this good for me? Is this good for my kids? A lot of times we do know what is good for us and what's not good for us. But if you have a hard time letting go of those Whoppers and pizza, ooh, did I say pizza? Ooh, replace it with something that is good and healthy, like salad. How about some blueberries and some grapes and apples, oranges, get some kale and spinach, replace something. All of us have something that we can replace, because don't you want to live a longer time, on this earth? And if you're eating food that's not good for you, you're gonna more than likely struggle later on when you age. And if you're not getting exercise, I see it all over. Everywhere I go, I see it all over. People having a hard time because they didn't exercise their whole life. They didn't move those arms, and your bones are so important. And depending on your like my doctor was telling me, I'm in great shape, but all of us come from different families and different backgrounds. Like with me being a white female, my age, the doctors, they put all this stuff together, okay, and then they have this science and says, well, Starlight, because you're a female and you're this age and you're white, is that this is, we checked everything on you, everything's great, but this is what you gotta really, for you gotta really be careful with your bones because of my size and being small. So you can always get checked out by your doctor and say, hey, I want to work on myself. So anyway, I love you so much. is there's something. Either try something new, try a sport. Maybe you don't do sports. Get out, make yourself, get out and get some exercise. Even if it's a half hour, hey, that's better than not getting out and exercising at all. You gotta move your legs. There's people later on, guess what? The doctor's like, oh, now you gotta, go in your house and you gotta do these, bend and do these exercises because they're hurting. Their body is hurting because they didn't exercise when they all through their life. And it will creep up on you. I'm telling you, it's not a good feeling when your body's, your bones and your muscles and all that, they ache and then they get weak. I knew a man that was like 70-something years old. He barely got any exercise. He was a skinny man, tall and skinny. And I'll tell you what, he didn't get the exercise. The only exercise that he got was go from his house 2 blocks away to get some more beer to come back, and that was the only exercise. So he had problems with his bones, being as thin as he was, and it hurt him for walking around anywhere because he was an alcoholic, So you don't want to waste your life away because later on, your future self will thank you because you did take good care of yourself. I love you so much. This is Starlight. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, plus give me a thumbs up, and you can leave me a message down below, beep, beep, beep. Plus, you could share my videos with your family or friends, and don't forget the notification bell, and check out my playlist. And you can also find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. Thank you for watching. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight. Love, light, and peace.